It's Wednesday, October 27th at about 10 to 9, and I'm walking along the Cataraqui Trail on the north side of Sydenham Lake, heading east. It's about 8 degrees with a brisk northeast wind, and it's a nice sunny day following our full day of rain yesterday. At home we ended up with about 1.6 inches of rain, which is pretty good. I would have liked to have seen a few more inches, but if we can get anything, that's a good thing. So well, I debated whether to wear this heavier coat this morning because it didn't seem that bad at our house, but I'm glad I did because there's a lot of wind coming off the lake here from the north. Now up ahead the trail becomes more sheltered, but still I'm happy to have it on. It's better to be a bit too warm than too cold, I think, at any time. So certainly by the lake here though, it's been a big benefit because it really cuts the wind right down to nothing. Whereas my little fleece would just let the wind blow right through. Well, we're just coming up to McFadden Road here at about the 2.5 kilometer mark from where we started. Still heading east. Now we get into the more wild sections of the trail. Yeah, so that rainstorm yesterday was very nice to see. I can't remember the last time we've had a full day rain. The rain actually started in the early morning hours yesterday, and it went until after I went to bed, probably 11 or midnight. I'm not sure how long it went, but the whole day it rained. Not tremendously heavily, but fairly steadily. As I said before, we had 1.6 inches overall, which is pretty good. But when I was young, I remember, I think accurately, we would frequently have full day rains and even 2 and 3 day rains. And now it just seems so rare to get that. More often than not, we get these quick 1 or 2 hour showers that go through, or maybe downpours if we're lucky, but more often than not, just fairly light rains. They come through with a cold front or something, and that's about it. You rarely get, at least in this area, full day rains like that, and it was nice to see it. Nice to see an old style rain like that. Well, just over an hour in on our walk now, and we've done 4 kilometers, and it's now 10 a.m. Just a beautiful day, breezy, but it is warming up somewhat now. Probably around 10 degrees now, I suspect. Still happy I wore this coat though, because it's really windy out and this cuts the wind. Looks like we've got some bluebirds up here on the trail. Yeah, it's sometimes funny where you see bluebirds. Here I am walking along a trail that's largely bordered by forest and swamp, and yet I've got about 6 or 7 or more bluebirds up here just dancing in the trees alongside the trail. Nice to see. They are funny that way. They can often be found in erroneous habitats compared to where you normally see them, which would be open fields and shrubbed field lands and things like that, where they typically haunt. But I have seen them in the middle of Frontenac Park too, up on the open exposures sometimes. I guess they just land wherever they're flying over probably, and if they see a little opening, they'll land there if they like the look of it. Looks like they're coming down onto the trail edge and feeding or doing something up there. Well, at least 7 bluebirds that I saw. There could be more. And I just realized, I guess I probably look like a big bluebird with this coat on, so maybe that's why they came down. Maybe they thought I was just another one of them. Also have some rusty blackbirds in here, which are nice. Getting quite a little list for October 27th. Just coming up to McFadden Road here, and by the time we get there it'll be about 5 kilometers in and about an hour and 30 minutes of walking roughly. I think this is as far as I'm going to go today. That'll be a 10-kilometer walk, which is good because we're probably going to do the trails at Frontenac tomorrow now by the looks of it. So I don't want to get too overdone here today. And here's McFadden Road. So it's 11:30 and we're just finishing up our hike. Just got to go up this little hill here to McFadden Road and then we'll be at the car. And that's another dog hike completed for the day. Probably go out around the property too later with the dogs, but this is the major hike done. Hope you've enjoyed it. Enjoyed these last few days of fall colors with me out here on the trails.